Hello again, it's Kathy Schmitz, and we're back for another stitch in the Home Sampler Stitch Along. Today we're going to do the fly stitch, but I'm also going to go over a couple other little things, just throw them in there. So today we're basically going to just work in this little beehive area. So these bees' wings are so tiny, there's no way you could embroider that. I couldn't anyway. So what I like to do for things like this is I like to do a little fly stitch. So you come up on one side of the loop, and it's kind of like an open lazy daisy. Instead of on the lazy daisy, you'd come back in that same hole. On this, I'm going to go over to the other side of that loop or wing, and then I'm going to bring the needle up at the end of the wing and put the thread under the needle and pull, and now I have a little wing, and I just tack it down in place. How simple is that, huh? I'm going to do the other side. Again, the thread goes below the needle. And then we'll finish his wings over here. This way on that one. There we go. I'm kind of going a different direction. It's hard when it's in a frame and I can't turn it. But it's all good. Okay. So this is going to be the last wing. Let's see if I can do that without having to poke. There we go. Got it. Now, what I also like to use the fly stitch for is when I'm making tiny, tiny bees like this, I actually use it on the top and bottom of their, like their head and their bottom. So now I have his head, and I'm just gonna, instead of bringing the needle down on the other side of that loop, I'm gonna actually bring the needle down a little farther away, and that will be one of his antennae, and then I'll make the other one. And then I'll just take just a simple stitch down to that end. Same on this side of the bee. Okay, now I can just do one more fly stitch for his little bum. And again, kind of like I did on his head, the stinger, I'm just going to make the stitch a little farther away. So now there's a stinger too. Okay, now we did this satin stitch last time, and there is actually a satin stitch on these bees. So I didn't do that yet because I needed the bodies to be done. But these are such small little areas that I'm not nearly as careful because it's pretty tiny. And it only takes like 2 or 3 little stitches to make a stripe. So it goes pretty quick. So we just have a few more stitches on this little guy and he'll be done. Now let's do a couple at his head here. One more? Yeah. Ta-da. Okay, so now the other stitch I want to show you is what I did at the base of this. I need a little more thread here. The base of the beehive. And let me also show you if it will work. It's like when you want to show somebody something, it doesn't work, but hopefully this will. So to thread my needle, I put it in my, got a little cut there on my finger. Luckily it didn't go too far through, but okay, so you pull it down to where you just see a little dot of the thread. And then you're gonna take your needle and you're gonna lay the eye right over that dot. And then you just kind of push it through. Just give me another shot. I can do it. there we go. And then again, to tie that knot, like I showed you in the very first video, I lay this parallel, wrap it 2 times, pull the needle through. And I've got a lovely little knot. Okay, so the way that we do this bottom part is we're going to start with basically a running stitch at the intersections of those crosses. Because what we're going to do is we're going to thread the cross stitches behind these to tack them in place, because those cross stitches are just one long stroke. Sorry, I hit the camera again. So one more little running stitch. And then you just start in one corner. And sometimes it's easier if you're threading under a stitch to use the eye of the needle rather than the pokey end. There we go. And we're just going to go down following the pattern. Let's see, I don't want to come up in the same hole. There we go. I'll come up in that corner. We go under and then down. Oops. Oh, start up here. Same thing. Turn your needle around. And you continue on until you've got all the bottom parts done. Woohoo! We're getting close here. So next time, there will actually be just one more video. So we're going to do the woven wheel, which is the cherry that the bird is holding. And then we'll do the chevron stitch, which is the outside border stitch. And then we will be all done. Oh, and the other place I forgot that there was a French knot, and I'll have to catch it when I do this bee. There's a little French knot right at the top of that beehive too. I got all the other French knots done, but I missed that one. Whoop, I didn't go underneath. There we go. All right, so hopefully everything's moving along fine for you, and you're getting caught up to date on this. And we can finish this. Thank you so much for being a part of this. Take care. Bye.